Hi viewers, I'm your Dr. Kola. Today we will see one of the important aspects in paper 1 of D.El.Ed, that is about Piaget's cognitive theory. There have been requests that students want some inputs regarding paper 1. Okay, we come to cognitive development of Piaget. See, particularly the cognitive perspective of child development was clearly explained by Piaget in the form of what we say cognitive structures or cognitive psychology. Actually, what is meant by cognition? Cognition is nothing but understanding or conceptualization. See, first of all, try to understand what is cognition. Cognition is nothing but understanding or conceptualization. Broadly, we can put it that how a individual learns or how an individual focus on certain aspects like attention, right, perception, memory, language development, and problem solving and reasoning. So these all include cognition. So what we say that cognition is nothing but how an individual gains knowledge through certain mental activities which I have told that previously. Learning as well as perception, memory and thinking. Okay, it depends upon, it varies from individual to individual cognition and the surroundings and the opportunities provided to the individual. So it is very important that how Piaget focus that how a cognition happens or a child understands the world around him, the events and the objects what he looks after. So after his numerous observations. So he says that cognition plays an important role in what we say acquiring knowledge around around himself and around the world. So when he interacts with the environment, when he interacts with the surroundings, automatically cognition happens. So we put this cognition in one term, like for example, there exists, as Piaget says, that there is a certain cognitive structures in an individual which help the individual to understand whatever he sees, whatever he pursues. What are these cognitive structures? He called them as schemas. So there may be a question of 1 mark that what do you mean by schema? Schemas are cognitive structures which are responsible for individuals' understanding or individuals' perception or individuals' memory. Or we can write single line answer. If you get 1 mark question, what is a schema? What is schema? Schema is nothing but cognitive structures which are responsible for individuals' organized behavior patterns. Okay, or these are nothing but uh, schemas are nothing but a cognitive structures which process by which individual organizes his experience in response to them, to the experiences. So I told that what do you mean by schema? Schema are nothing but cognitive structures. Schema is nothing but cognitive structures which help him to respond or which help him to change his behavior, which help him to organize experiences and respond to them. And you see, every individual is born with certain schemas. For example, we see an example for a schema. Sucking reflexes. You see, when a child comes near to mother's feeding, automatically he touches uh, his mother's, when he goes for milking, he touches with his lips. Similarly, like grasping, like kicking, you can see when child is in the bed, newborn, you see, 0 to 2 years, they will be moving their legs, kicking, looking, hitting. These reflexes happen. These are nothing but inborn schemas, right? For a moment, the child is born, the schemas undergo change because he comes in connection or he interacts with the surroundings or with the environment. So you may get a question on schema. What do you mean by schema? Schema are cognitive structures which helps to organize experiences and respond, or schemas are cognitive structures which help the individual to perceive what around the world, pursue the world around him and change it, bring about behavior change. Or you may sometimes get a 3 marks question, what is schema, and give examples of schema. Definitely you can go for what we see in the child, like sucking of milk, kicking, hitting, right, grasping, and all this thing. Or we can say that these are nothing but mental actions that are expressed as to say external behavior. What we call sensor motor activities like reaching, grasping, or transforming mental behavior into mental behavior. For example, that this whatever this kicking, grasping, and reaching, these are nothing but what we say mental actions which are cognitive structure which are already there. They in turn will be changed into mental behaviors like plans, problem solving, classification. What he called this as, Piaget called this as operations. And you see, these operations or operational principles in human happen when the schema experience this type of new things when he interacts with the environment. So it happens, these operations happen and bring about change in the behavior of the individual basing upon the age and experiences what he comes across through, right? Or we can say that this can be these operational principles can be grouped into two things, what we call it as organization and adaptation. So organizing physical psychological structures into increasing complex system. For example, initially a newborn baby has independent responses like sucking, looking, and grasping. But this, in turn, when he interacts with the environment, changes into other responses or a higher order behavioral, what we say, systems. This is about organization. The second principle is adoption. Adoption can be divided into assimilation and accommodation. See, when we see in assimilation, when a child encounters a new experience, automatically he compares with the schemas which are already there and tries to modify. But what we see that it's not such a experience what we see. For example, when a boy sees a dog, upon seeing a dog, he calls it as also dog because uh, he has already the what we say the schema with him, existing schema. Accommodation, on the other hand, is nothing but adjustment to depends of the environment. Changes in schema occur through continuous adjustment of the environment. For example, the child who previously called a dog a donkey or donkey as a dog now can differentiate between these two animals. So, what we said that whatever the experiences schema happens to go through changes, what we say, what we call as Piaget called it as operations. Operations. Operations, what we call this has been defined, organized into organization and what we said adoption. And the organization we said that whatever the schematic actions like looking, grasping, kicking will be changed into higher order what we say behaviors. And when we come to adaptation, we said there will be two types, assimilation and accommodation. So what we said in assimilation, existing schemas will be continuing, and what we said that it requires, for example, I said it compares with the existing in assimilation, it compares with the existing schemas. And but when you are coming for accommodation, we are saying that there is a change in the behavior. And you see, changes occur in cognition due to their inborn organization and also adaptation abilities. And this cognition varies from person to person. Okay, and this all things happen in average children also. And you see, when we see these schematic changes, uh, Piaget is organized child's development into 4 stages. So all the 4 stages has he said that it's not possible that all will be having the same type of development. But changes are there and they are continuous and gradual. And the 4 stages are sensory stage or sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, or formal operational stage. What we call, or we can say that period, sensory motor period, or pre-operational period, concrete operational period, and formal operational period. When we come to sensory motor period or stage, it lasts from 0 to 2 years, and it is the stage where infant transition happens from reflective organism to child with rudimentary symbolic thought. So infant works so primarily through reflexes. Previously, I told that grasping, kicking, and all that. And these reflexes focus on immediate sensory motor experiences, attempting to understand the objects around him. See, whenever you see, for a month child, if you are giving, uh, he has innate reflexes, but for example, 1 to 4 months, repeat the same motor activities which has previously occurred randomly and brought them exam satisfaction. For example, if an infant accidentally puts finger in the mouth, if he feels that it's giving him satisfaction, he will repeat the action and make it a habit. And at this stage, what we say that between 1 to 4 months, they're focused on their own body. You see, the ability to recognize objects develop at this stage. The sucking reflexes that occur with mother's nipples is exhibited when they are held in cradling position. Okay, this is a stage between 1 to 4. But 4 to 8 months, the infant focuses from own body to other objects. You see, 0 to 4 we said own body, and 4 to 8 months other objects. Shaking of other objects, when they see that they make sound, they're attracted, they want to grasp, shake objects. But when you go to 8 to 12 months, again there's a change. 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, he goes for object permanence. He becomes intentional, goal oriented. He tries to understand that objects continue to exist even they were out of sight. For example, 8 to 12, when he says that object continues if they are not existing also, if they are object continue to exist, they are not seen. For example, when he's usually he's very much attached to mother. Um, if mother is not there, he will not feel anything because he knows that she has gone from his view, but after some time he may see her, right? So a key concept, it is nothing but object permanence develops at the age of 8 to 12. He is able to find out hidden objects also, and whatever the experiences they learn, they try to apply to new situations. Or for example, they try to use a schema like throwing the objects to avoid obstacles in their way. For example, when they are moving, if they are getting something, they try to move it. So 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, and you say 12 to 8. He uses trial and error methods to learn the characters. For example, when objects fall, they make different sounds. And you see, you can see the child throwing various objects and trying to enjoy and playing games, noticing the difference between the sound they make. And when you come to between 18 to 14, they have some insight instead of trial and error. They begin to solve problems, thinking instead of just observation. For example, if the object is out of reach, he try to reach. For example, if he is not able to get the ball which is on the table, he takes a stool and keeps it one. So what we say that 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, and 12 to 18. 0 to 2, what we called it as, where he focused on his own body. Between 4 to 8, what we said that he tries to shift from body to other objects. And 8 to 12, what we said that object permanence. And 12 to 18, trial and error method. And 18 to 4, 18 to 24, it develops to say problem solving. Okay, So these are the important stages in sensory motor stage, right? We have to be very particular in all these stages, because these stages will be useful for us to observe the child and design activities basing upon the okay when he comes to school. That pre-operational stage, you see, it is lasts from 2 to 7 years, and he has divided it into two stages, 2 to 4 years, which we call pre-conceptual, okay, understanding, and the period from 4 to 7, intuitive thought period. You see, these are the two important stages: pre-conceptual, intuitive thought period, and between 2 to 4 we call language development period, right? Problem solving abilities develop significantly, and you see two major limitations: animism and egocentrism. See, whenever he sees animals, he attributes to what we say life to inanimate objects. For example, you see the child speaking to toys in animism. Take toys as if they are live and tries to fulfill their perceived needs. So we see children playing with talking to toys. Okay, it's animism. So what we say that attributing life to animism, attributing life to inanimate objects. So you may get one mark question. What do you mean by inanimate? Sorry, what do you mean by animism? Right? Then egocentrism. This is nothing but belief that whole world around him is centered around himself. For example, he feels that whenever he's moving, the sun moves along him when he walks, right? And between the 4 to 7, they are able to perform their mental operations like classifying objects and comparing them. Even they have the ability to solve problems, the ability to explain them has not developed. And when we go for limitations, lack of concept conservation and irreversibility. So when we come for lack of concept, they don't understand the attributes of an object. They feel that they remain same even when appearance changes. Okay, for example, when we show water filled with two glasses, and when we change and we remove water from one glass to another glass, if he is unable to recognize that there is a change in that one. So what we call that one limitation as conservation and irreversibility. Okay, that is about irreversibility. Right. Then we come to centration of thoughts. As the concept of irreversibility means not having an understanding at every logical operations can be reversed. For example, two clay balls of same size and shape are taken. The shape of one is changed. The child cannot recognize that it can be brought back to original shape. The clay can be again reversible. So reversibility is not known to him that one. Then concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. Here the concept of reversibility increases. Okay, and focus on only one attribute decreases, and the ability to understand reality increases. When we come to limitation, pre-operative stage, uh, the limitations of pre-operation stage are overcome in this stage, okay, in concrete operation stage. So he was not able to understand certain things. Inductive reasoning increases at this stage. For example, when you say there is a holiday for first to fifth class, automatically he understand. If he's in third class, he is able to understand that in third class is also have holiday. Okay, and when come to concrete operational stage, limitation is that uh, when we see that cannot find solution, child can find solution when they see stimuli physically, but not in their absence, right? For example, when we ask the what is the route for his home, he is unable to see, but he can recognize that way to reach that one. He can move to the route without having any cues, because he has been adopted to that one. So this is about concrete operation stage, where we see that memory capacity has not fully developed, and the ability to remember complex sequences is not developed. Coming to last, former operation stage, begins at the age of 12. And you see, in concrete operation stage, they start thinking like hypothetical, hypothetical, imaginary problems and suggest solutions. So they can hypothetically think. For example, if you ask any reasoning question, they will be able to do that one. Right? In this stage, they can combine information from various sources and indicate quantities and results, and resolve problems by thinking about various aspects instead of focusing on only one factor in problem solving, like flexibility, testing mental hypothesis, thinking about various aspects of problem solving and understanding the complexity of the problem observed in the stage. However, they will be achieving certain skills which are almost near to the adult. And you see, it depends upon the culture and the environment in the where they are being brought up. So individuals who score below their average standard intelligence tests have not related to the abstract operational stage. So we have four stages: sensory motor stage, as well as you see pre-operation stage, concrete operation stage, and formal operation stage. And you see, sometimes you may get to write about any of the operation stage, or you see in this four operation stage there may be 3 marks question, or there may be question asking how you will be using um concrete operation stage or formal operation stage for building up teaching learning material or classroom interaction like that. Or you can also get a question that how you will be applying the Piaget's cognitive theory for classroom teaching or educational importance. So three aspects came out of Piaget's cognitive theory: discovery learning, a sensitivity to children's readiness for learning, and recognizing the individual differences. See, when you see four stages, you have seen that a number of things happen in the child. So, child have the habit of exploring, and in classroom activities, we should design in such a way that which touches the senses and builds the concept and have a chance for the child to explore. What we call it is discovery learning. It depends upon the teacher how you plan certain activities which will help the child to discover or explore. And sensitivity towards child's readiness. You see, again, child's readiness varies from child to child. So it is up to the teacher to see that which child is ready and how you make him ready for coming, what do you say, assignments or coming, in the interactions with the society, because every child undergoes through different stages or four stages, and we should be very sensitive regarding each stage and plan according to that stage so that he gets ready for overcoming all the different stages what we have seen. And also we have to see that the individual difference. No child has the same abilities. So it is up to the teacher to prepare teaching learning material or teaching learning activities basing upon their interest and basing upon the individual differences. So exploration, readiness, and individual differences are the outcomes of Piaget's cognitive theories. So from the point of view of examination, we can expect one or two questions from Piaget, either direct question or application. Thank you for watching. Signing off, Dr. Kola. Bye-bye.